Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back here for another Big Brother 25 draft. First Big Brother 25 draft, but it's another Big Brother draft, and we're very excited here as we are less than 24 hours to go. Actually, I think it's 25 hours to go till a Big Brother 25. Oh, that's perfect symmetry. All right, so we are ready. We have our draft teams ready, and so excited. We've got a great group of Big Brother podcasters to talk about a great group of potential Big Brother players. And so let's welcome everybody in for one of the most exciting nights and our final night of the preseason. Of course, back with us, man who needs no introduction, getting ready for 100 Days of Big Brother, Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
I'm feeling good. I'm ready. We practiced up in the off season with all the drafts. So I feel like I should basically be at peak form right now.
Okay, at peak form, no doubt. So, all right, let's see what Taran has up his sleeve. Of course, with us tonight, also, of course, in a incredible, shimmering top. Here is Aman Adwin. Yes.
Hi. Yes, back for another BB draft because I keep getting robbed. Specifically by Rob last time, so
Okay,
just here to try to reclaim some power in this BB drafting streets.
I'm just thrilled that you're with us. I feel like that we've had such bad luck with getting you on the draft from all sorts of different technical difficulties. So excited to have us all here tonight.
Look, I got Ethernetted all up. I'm determined to not have any technical difficulties the entire season. But those are probably famous last words, so we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right, of course, back with us, the voice of the people. It's Melissa Deni. Melissa, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be back. I feel very out of practice. This has been a very long off season for me. Taran's saying, well, we practiced. Well, not me. So I am very lost. My draft board has just a bunch of cross outs and I just rearranged everything and there's a bunch of arrows. So at this point, I have no idea what I'm doing and I'm very excited to get started.
Okay. All right. Well, excited to have you back here with us. And of course, a man who lives for draft night, of course. Pooya Mecole is back. Pooya, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Rob. I also got to practice in the off season and I'm the reigning Survivor draft champion. So while I look forward to Melissa's excuses, Aman's more collection of Aman's L's in the department, I am very excited to be here with all four of you for my next title.
Okay, all right. So Pooya calling his shot here tonight. We will draft 3 rounds here, each of us walking away with 3 Big Brother players. It's winner take all, no points, nothing fancy. And then, of course, you, the audience, gets your own person. If you win, audience, with your person who goes undrafted, the podcast ends and we all retire. Okay, those are the stakes.
Yeah, it's over for us.
Okay, we're like basically. If that happens, right? Has that ever happened, Taran?
No, never happened.
Yeah, that hasn't happened to us, I don't think.
What's the closest it's gotten?
Yeah. And if that happens, like basically, it's like, why would anybody listen to us? Because
like, what are we doing here?
We picked that the audience said, all right, masterminds, you pick 15 people. We'll get whatever you don't take. It's like a card trick. If they win, then the podcast ends. Okay, we all find other things to do. Yeah. All right, those are the stakes.
We
here
get other
tonight.
jobs. It's over.
Sam is reminding us last season the audience had Turner, and then they did. You did get close.
They didn't have Turner. They had Aman took Turner.
I took Turner.
Okay.
They got Izzy.
Sam Moore with an incorrect fact check. Wow. Number 1.
Fake news, Sam.
23. They got
fake news.
Frenchie?
Don't get it twisted. Yes. Yeah. All right. So that's what is at stake here tonight. Of course, you're going to want to make sure that you're locked in for all of our coverage, of course, which kicks off officially tomorrow night, where we will be live after the first episode of Big Brother 25. So be sure to make sure you're subscribed to our podcast feed at robhasawebsite.com/Big Brother for that. And then, of course, I don't know if any of you have ever heard this, but there is a superstition that if people are watching the video and are not subscribed to the channel on the night of the draft, it is very bad luck for the season. It could be something that supposedly bad feeds, lots of feeds cutting, a lot of like sports going late and pushing the episodes later on into the night. So that's very, very bad luck. If anybody is watching the video tonight and not subscribed to the channel, just want to make sure we have, cross all of our T's and dot all of our I's. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. So I don't want to be too superstitious, but of course, everybody knows that legend. So
off air, we talk about you all the time and how it's your fault.
We do.
Bad stuff happens.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah. Reverse the curse and subscribe, everybody. Okay. And of course, we're drafting here tonight. If you want to play in your own Big Brother fantasy game, we are running one for the fans this season. You can go. We've partnered again with the Make Your Picks app. We did it for Survivor in the spring. You can play along for free in your own Big Brother draft game. You go ahead and pick people. You can swap them out. It's a very, very fun game. Go to look for the Make Your Picks app. You can go to robhasawebsite.com/MYP Apple or robhasawebsite.com/MYP Android. And then you can play in the featured pools for Rob as a podcast. It's free to play. Big Brother Fantasy. All right. If anybody forgot, there was Big Brother Canada 11. Okay. And not only did I win the draft, like I had the top 2 people. That's pretty impressive, right?
It's happened before, but we did it again.
Right?
And I got grenaded also.
Impressive.
I got grenaded and also had the top 2 people.
Wow, it's like very impressive, Rob. Okay.
It's very impressive. Okay. So that's our one nice little tradition that we have. That the person that won the most recent draft gets to go ahead and create the draft order for the show. Okay. And so I've been thinking about this. I think I know what I'm gonna do. Okay. All right. I'm not even gonna let anybody plead their case because I don't want to then be a jerk and then go back and take it away from all of you. Okay. But I have some good news for Aman tonight because Aman is going to pick number 1.
Oh, wow.
Okay. All right. And Pooya, I have some good news for you. You are going to pick number 2 tonight.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. I'm going to pick number 3. Taran will pick 4th. And I'm sorry, Melissa, you will pick 5th, but of course, in the snake draft, you get to pick number 5 and number 6. Fair enough. That is the order that I am going with here tonight for our pool of Big Brother 25. Anything else to say before we get into the draft?
Now I'm over here.
Okay.
Taran.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then also the chat, please have fun. Of course, like the chat is great. We'd love to get your comments. We'll bring them into the show as well if you're chatting live. And so looking forward to hearing what everybody has to say. All right. Aman, are you ready to kick off the festivities tonight?
I really wasn't expecting to go first. So that really, it doesn't really change much. But, I think I'm ready. I think the first choice is kind of, is what it is.
All right.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the birthright, Mr. Jared Fields.
All right. There we go. Jared Fields, number 1 off the board.
Off the board. Now, look, like just because he is related to Suri, just because he is Suri's son, does not mean that he is automatically going to do well at a social game. But there has to be something said for having Suri as a mom and having watched her play so many times and even joined her on the island and listened to her stories, listen to her strategies, listen to all the things that she regretted about her game in Survivor, listen to all the things that she loved about her game, listen to all of what other people have told him about his mother and like all the experiences. Like that kind of life experience and that kind of advice is invaluable. There was a lot of prep work going on. There was a lot of advice going on. That Suri probably had a couple of her Big Brother friends, maybe, drop a little couple hints to Jared to give him a little bit of advice. And even so, all that advice could go out the window as soon as he goes in there. But I have to imagine that someone with that kind of history is always going to have a leg up over other people that don't have the same connection. So I have to go for Jared. I'm really excited to see him play. I think this is the kind of stunt casting that we like, okay? And I'm super excited. His mom just came off of a win of a brand new show here in the States, and I'm just I have to imagine that there's going to be some goodies that we'll get for him this season. So I'm excited. Taking Jared first.
I love it. Okay, so fun. I love that we have Jared here. Of course, Taran and I got to talk about this yesterday. Melissa, do you have any feelings about Jared Fields being here?
I'm very excited to see, what he brings to the table. I hope Suri gave him training and hints and advice. And I mean, I have to believe that she did. So I'm hoping that Jared can, pull off a win here. I think this is a great pick for Aman.
You went to Jared, right?
Jared, baby.
I just think I think it's just, I totally agree. I think this kind of stunt casting is a fun one. I feel like we've seen stunt casting in the past when there've been siblings cast or whatever that have been a little I don't know if I like this all that much, but this is the son of a legend. I feel like that's exciting. It's the next generation type thing. So I'm just very excited to see what he's gonna do.
Yeah. Did you all see that Julie Chen Moonves gave an interview recently where speaking of a son following in the mother's footsteps, where she said that she would like to see her son host Big Brother 50 because she'll be dead? I was like, wow, this got very dark.
Dark.
Do you have the power to leave this in your will? Because
I don't think it works that way.
I don't think it works that way either.
You can just will it, yeah.
More power.
Can't be Nepo baby host.
You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, Big Brother 50, what's that, 25 years from now? So how old is Julie? She's she's in her 50s.
53?
Yeah.
Something like that.
She'll be here. You never know.
Is she really going to be dead?
78?
Get the actuarial tables out. I think she's looking okay. All right.
Yeah, she'll be fine. She's healthy. She looks good. I think.
Expect the unexpected, though. All right. Pooya, you're the only one we haven't heard talk about Jared Fields at all.
Yeah, well, it's because every time I try to pipe up, someone's doing wheelies outside. So I keep
is
having
that
to
what
mute
it is?
up.
I thought it was a siren. I was like, is there an emergency? Do you need to leave?
No, I'm fine. It's just every time I unmuted, something happened. I had to remute.
They're filming the latest Fast and Furious outside your building.
Yeah.
Seriously. Against the actor strike.
Literally.
Shut it down, Pooya.
I'll get out there. Just let me do my pick, then I'll leave for a little bit. I'll be out there with a broom. So to me, just off of the name alone, you cannot leave the kin of Suri on the board first pick. You have to. And I was saying this to someone else earlier. Even if that connection wasn't there, I kind of like the energy I was getting from Jared. Every time Jared answered something in these interviews, I was smiling with him. Every time Jared giggled, I wanted to laugh with him. That energy, if it's bouncing off the screen, it's going to bounce off in real life. I have no doubts about it. So socially, I think he'll be good. Again, your mother is Suri. You've been in these social circles with these other players. I'm sure you've picked up a couple of things. I'm sure you've talked strategic stuff. So I feel like all of that as well, I feel good about that he can implement. It's 100 days. This is the biggest test. And the thing for the draft for me is who's going to be able to survive 100 days in this house. That's going to be the biggest obstacle than anything. And we won't know that until we see them for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I feel good about Jared. I think he's a solid pick for first.
Yeah. Taran, how are you feeling about Jared tonight?
I mean, I think there's no reason to doubt him from what we've seen. I do honestly, I fear a bit for Jared. I think that the expectations are about as high as you can get. Yep. I mean, when you come in the son of Suri Fields, that's weighty expectations. And I've seen many a time what the Big Brother fan base does when players fail to meet their expectations. So I think the scrutiny is going to be turned up to 11 on Jared. And so I hope that he's able to make it through and to live up to the name.
And you know what? I thought about it this morning when I was going over some of my draft picks, and I was like, you know what? I've already come to the conclusion that this man will do no wrong in my eyes. I don't care. He could be the first boot. He could go in there, and as long as he's not acting a complete ass, everything that he does, I'm going to agree with blindly, even if it is the wrong thing, because I will not be on Cerie Fields' internet talking mess about her son. Okay. So it just is what it is. I'm along for the ride. I hope he does a really good job. I think that he will. But I take Tara's point because it is a lot of pressure. But I'm hoping that the whole thing with like Corey potentially knowing who he is does not coalesce, because I feel like it's one thing to have like the pressure of the eyes on you. It's another thing to also have the house guests also realize who you are. And then it's like, oh, so I'm just hoping that he's able to keep that secret to himself, and, you know, he can kind of move to the shadows and do what he needs to do. I think he's just really, really charming. And he's, like Pooya said, like I was smiling along with him. He just seems like he's a very congenial person. And, you know, that can really go a long way in Big Brother. So,
Aman, have you had any real life interactions with Jared?
I have not. Rice and Wen events that I've been to my knowledge, he was not there. So I have not gotten the chance to meet him. But from what I've heard about him, as well as everyone else, I'm sure he's a great guy. So.
Yeah, I've met him a few times. That he's been at different RHAP events. That he in New York. That he has been there. That we had Cerie join us during Survivor Game Changers. For I'm sorry, that wasn't during it was HHH. Cerie was there. Also, Jared was there in New York with us back in May of 2022. And he was like, my mom's working on something big right now. Like, I can't say anything, but my mom's on a big show right now. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, because there's no Survivor filming right now. I couldn't imagine what it was. He's like, she's going to want to talk to you when she gets back. I promise. So Jared's really nice guy. I'm worried with Taran about the expectations being so high, but, you know, can't wait to see how it goes. All right.
Do we know if he's like a Big Brother fan? Do we know if he's like a feeder or anything like that? Or is it just that we all are basing this off of purely his mom? Yep.
I think it's based off of
value alone.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
I said that he's dabbled a little bit. Obviously, Survivor is probably more of his forte. Obviously, but I think he's like aware of it. He's like in the stratosphere of it. I think he knows enough about it, and then, you know,
he's around it.
Enough,
right.
There's enough parallels between Survivor and Big Brother for it to sort of be, you know, a good leg up.
And here's the thing: his mom is Cerie, who has been on these shows more than 1, 2, 3 times. There's
like
no
his entire life.
Yeah, there's no world Cerie didn't say, listen, you are studying this game. You're not just you're not going to willy-nilly it. Do your homework. So I feel like even if he was like 0, more than a lot of these people in this cast, I think he's probably put in the work. So we'll see.
Okay. All right. There's Jared Fields goes number 1. All right. Pooya.
Yes.
You go number 2. All right.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. You know, the first 3 letters of my name is number 2, so that also works. Here's the thing. I felt like Jared was going to go first no matter how you cut the pie. So I had to make my contingency plans. My next pick is someone who I would have wanted and would have really struggled with if I was first pick to not get. I think a lot of people know where I'm going to go with this. I want to go with Jag here. Our first Sikh in the house. First, we got the Punjabi representation in the house. And honestly, I loved his energy on the videos. Again, let's talk about this for a second. The videos, not really delivering a lot. It was a lot of, you had to read in between the lines. We have come a long way back from where we were last year. We got 1 full night of feeds. We got about 45 minutes of video to kind of just for everyone total to really break it down. I liked the energy I got from him in the video.
Can I just set up, in case you didn't watch the podcast that Taran and I did yesterday, and we did more of like a instant reaction to everybody. We got the way that this worked in the preseason. There were no individual interviews like in the past we've seen where Sharon Tharp and, you know, other reporters, Mike Bloom, have gotten to ask like individual questions that they answer. This was Big Brother put out like 3 to 5 minutes of interview footage of each contestant answering the same questions, and then basically sent that same video out to everybody. So there's really only one source for any of these preseason vibes that we're getting.
Yeah, and they were asked about 5 questions, but they were not the questions that like the press asked, because one of the questions was, what are your thoughts on Julie Chen? So this is what we're working with.
I wanted to confirm that like Mike Bloom didn't ask these questions, because the video I saw was Mike asking the question.
Mike
and I was like,
re-recorded the questions to make it more natural.
Mike
like
edited
he's
it.
done for a lot of the Survivor stuff that we've gotten.
Why does Mike care about what they think of Julie Chen?
Yes, and also, What do you like? So, what do you think about Big Brother going into the fall?
Spooky season. It's like, what? I don't care.
Yes. So, Pooya, continue.
Yeah, I really thought, I think he's going to be someone who's going to do well socially, which is kind of the main thing I look for when we get the little crumbs of information on the lead into the show. There was a moment where, and I feel like he recognizes he has to, it's going to be a dirty game and you got to play it to win it. So I like that. I do know that there's some worry out there that, is he going to be too nice? Is he going to be able to, take the kill shot when he has to? I can't worry about that right now. I'm going off of what I've seen. And from what I've seen, I like what I've seen from him. Had to take the other person with the letter J off the board. Had to take a 25-year-old off the board, I guess. So me and Aman can remain neighbors both on the alphabetical order and in this draft.
Yeah. I had him really high also on my board. That I feel like, Pooya, I love that, you have somebody here who's like representing, but also like, I feel like he's also a great pick in terms of like what he said about the game and everything that he wants to do. He seems to be one of the real fans. Was it Brent Champagne that tweeted a picture of like running into Jag and his friends at some sort of like Big Brother party at some point? Like him and
Brent Champagne.
Yeah,
in the pod, rooting for Jag.
You follow him, Rob? How would you see this?
I think it got retweeted.
I saw it.
It got retweeted, right? He was basically saying like, "Hey, Jag is a real one. He's hangs like him and his friends are going like they go to like Big Brother stuff, so that he's not just fronting."
Yeah. I really like Jag. I rated him, or I ranked him really high in my list as well. I just felt like he seemed like he had a really good personality, just like very easy to get along with. He seemed like kind of funny and, just easy to talk to. I like, who knows about the strategy? Obviously we didn't get a lot of that, but like you said, we're going off of what we have. And from what I saw, I really liked it. So it seems like he'll do well.
Yeah, I had him really high on my list as well. He probably would have been one of my first picks. I liked what he said about like understand. Like he said that he knows he's going to have to backstab people, but he also understands that loyalty really is a currency in the Big Brother house, and he wants to be loyal to a certain sect of people, but he cannot be loyal to a fault. So I feel like acknowledging that balance and knowing when to cut and when not to cut is always a good thing to have in the game. And yeah, he just seems very, very personable, very down to earth, just really cool. And I'm really excited that like you said, Rob, that we're getting this representation here, because it really does, at least for me, it really did make me actually sit down and look at what all of these words were that were getting thrown out, because we've had a few people of similar lineage on Big Brother Canada. But I've never actually sat down and like actually was like, okay, so what's the difference between Desi and Punjabi and Sikh and Indian and Pakistan? Like, and it actually sat down and like went through everything, and like now I have like a whole new understanding of where it is that he actually comes from. So I encourage people that are sort of like confused as to like what these words mean, like go ahead, look it up, educate yourself, like I did today. So yeah, it's very interesting today.
Okay, all right, lots of Jag supporters.
Vernon knows what's up.
Taran, how are you feeling about Jag?
I liked Jag a lot. I think that he seemed very charismatic. He's right. Like there's a big chunk of players who are like 25, and he's one of them. So I think that's a good thing. And he knows the show really well, which I like a lot. I feel like he's going to want to like create a crew in the house and be loyal to that crew, which I think is generally a good thing. I think that if he's able to put some people together, he's going to find some success.
Okay. All right. There is Jag. Okay. All right. So far, the draft, and I feel like this never happens, has gone right according to schedule. All right. So now
I'm scared.
I get to go at number 3, and I am very excited to take somebody that, look, this could go high variance here with this pick, but give me another legacy of a Survivor player, and I want to draft Corey Wurtenberger. Yes.
Yeah.
Here he is. Corey
Yeah.
Wurtenberger, brother of Survivor 42's Zach Wurtenberger.
My brother Corey.
Yeah. My brother Corey. Yeah.
In my mind, he was never going to be on anyone else's team, Rob. Very clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look. Yeah, go ahead, Taran.
This order, I think everyone could have told you the top 3 picks when you picked this order.
Yeah, look, this is gonna be fun. I think to have Corey there, and look, there's a family history here. Okay, it could happen. We could see Corey out first, but if they let this guy get his feet going in the game, I believe knows the show better than anybody else that's there. And I think he knows like all of the potential things and the way that could go wrong, all the things that could go sideways. I mean, he watched the very thing that he's probably most worried about happen to his brother on Survivor. And so I think he comes in very much armed with all of that. But I think that he is able to really, if he's anything like his brother, make a lot of friends, play a good social game. I think that being like, he's not going to be somebody that you're going to be is like taking up a lot of space in the house. And so I'm very excited for Corey Wurtenberger.
Yeah,
I really like him. I loved all his interviews. I feel like he's really funny. And if he's anything like Zach, I mean, Zach is hilarious on Twitter. So I am very excited to see him in the house. I think like also it's not just comedy. I think he's got the strategy there.
Yes.
I think my main concern with him is that he's so young.
He's young,
like,
21. That is the biggest concern.
Yeah, he's just super young. And I wonder if like, maybe people are going to get that like, oh, super fan energy, like young super fan, like nerd type or something from him. And then think like, I'm worried about him, or maybe he doesn't connect with us. Like, I just don't know. And then especially with his strategy of like, oh, if I don't win HOH, I'm just going to like retreat into like pathetic category and be like, I don't know how to do laundry. I don't know how to do whatever. And I feel like that could also get like annoying to the older house. Just like, oh, okay, this kid is so young. He's asking me how to do laundry. Like, come on, like we're all adults here. So I would be concerned about that portion of his strategy. But let's just hope it doesn't get to that point.
Yeah, I found that interesting. Like when he said that he said, if I can't win the first HOH, then I'm going to go ahead and do this whole like little brother act. I don't know what I'm doing. How do you fold a shirt? So I'm like, does that apply to also if you win the first HOH? So like if you win the first HOH, are you still going to act like a bumbling 21-year-old, or are you going to throw that part out the window and like do the whole thing where you create alliances? So I'm really interested to see how that goes. But like you said, Rob, he obviously is probably armed the most, one of the most with all of this knowledge about how the game works and everything. He's been wanting to be on the show for so long. I think that picture with his brother, with Zach and the buff, and him with the power of veto is just so damn cute. Like how do you not root for something like that? So I am worried because he is the youngest by 3 years. The next one I think is Reilly at 24, and everyone else is 25 and above. So it's a maybe in another cast like a few years ago, he probably fit a little bit more in with people, but it seems like the cast are skewing a little older as of late. Mm-hmm. So that is a little concerning. But Taran, how could I miss with a guy who probably has never missed one live feed update?
Yeah, and Reilly is actually going to turn 25 tomorrow. So he's going to be the youngest by a good 4 years.
You're going to think she's faking it.
Right?
You're going to think she's lying.
So It's pretty significant, but I do think that Reilly, that Corey is luckily in the archetype where playing the younger brother on Big Brother can usually actually work for you. I think that playing the kind of like, oh, I'm innocent, just so happy to be here, wide-eyed, like, lead me to the promised land. I think that we've seen that work multiple times on Big Brother. So I think that there is a path for him, and it's good that he knows about that path and that he should probably take it if that's what's available to him. But I do think the toughest part for him will be this early game. He just needs to figure out where he fits in, and then go from there.
Okay, I think he's going to be a lot of fun.
Something also that concerns me just a little bit, and I don't even know if this will happen, but we've got Jared who's like really trying to conceal his identity and is saying like, I'm not going to tell people about my mom. And then if Corey comes in saying, I'm going to be totally honest, and then he tells people about his brother, I feel like there might be a concern with Jared being like, he's going to reveal my identity. I have to get him out. Instead of like, oh, we have a survivor connection, let's work together. Like, which is what I hope happens. Instead, it could be the opposite where it's like, oh my God, he knows. He'll know my mom. He knows my last name. I have to get him out before he like reveals anything.
Yeah,
so that would be
that's going to be very interesting about the Han Solo Greedo of who's going to ID who and reveal their secret first. My sense is that Corey will it could go either way. Like, I feel like that Corey would ID Jared before Jared IDs Corey. But I think that Corey might just not even hide the fact that, why would he hide? Like, my brother was Zach Wurtenberger from Survivor. Like, it's such a nothing burger fact to hide from people. Yeah.
It's possible, like, Jared might come out of the gates like, he's related to a survivor. That's dangerous. We gotta... like pull
that's what I'm
Cody
worried about
from Survivor.
Yeah, so
and
that will be very interesting.
I feel like he's risk averse. I feel like he probably, if anything, I feel like I am of the mindset that is going to be something that binds them together if both secrets get revealed. I just don't feel like he is going to try to use it as some type of underhanded ploy to get Jared out and vice versa. I just see it being like bitch, you might as well work together now. You know what I mean? So
hopefully it brings them together.
Both have things to prove. Like we want to make our families proud, So
I just feel like I keep thinking about last season or whatever with the whole there can only be one super fan on this cast. Like, I have to get them out.
Yeah, but that was said by Daniel.
Well, I'm just saying. I don't know.
Think of the subject matter there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay. All right. So 3 picks down. Aman went with Jared. Pooya went with Jag, and Rob went to Jared. Rob went to Corey. Okay. All right. So now we'll go to Taran and then Melissa for 2 picks. Okay. Taran, pick number 4 is yours in round 1.
Pick number 4. Couple of thoughts. Big Brother, despite being won by Taylor last season, was still dominated competition-wise by some fit dudes for the most part. Obviously, Michael was able to beat a lot of those. Not that Michael isn't fit, but he was able to beat some of those really big, beefy dudes. But still, despite Michael, they still dominated those end game competitions. Somebody who I think is going to be very good at competitions, but not just that, also knows the game really well. He's a big fan of the show. And he also spoke pretty well about the strategy. I'm going to go with Matt.
Okay. All right. Here comes Matt. All right. So Matt, our first deaf house guest, that he is a swimmer as well, ready to go, bringing the surfer vibes this summer.
Yeah, bringing the surfer vibes. Honestly, my biggest worry is that he reminds people too much of Tyler, which would be unfortunate. But I think he clearly has his own sort of distinct personality here, and he's very he's a Deaf Olympics gold medalist. He broke records in his time as a swimmer. he is going to be very competent, I would imagine, at competitions. I love the fact that he's a fan. I loved what he said about strategy. He says he wants to go in and win the first HOH, which is very not really said amongst many of the other players. And his reason for doing so seemed very in tune with the meta of Big Brother in the modern era, which is that he wants people to come to him for alliances if he's the HOH. He wants to make sure that he's at the center of that, while at the same time being wary of the fact that he doesn't want to burn too many bridges as that first HOH. So that spoke to me as either a very good intuition for the game, or he's done some studying and he knows what he's talking about. Either way, is very positive on that. He also, though, is worried about something like the Mecole situation. He doesn't want to win too many things too early. So I think that he's going to be able to turn the dial down if he needs to. I also love that he can lip read and that he's not going to tell people about that. And I wonder if that could come in handy, because genuinely, unlike most of these sort of novelty things that people are like, well, I'm in business, so I'll be able to broker deals. This is an actual tangible skill that could genuinely help him at times.
So my concern with him was that he said that he didn't know the show because his rigorous training regimen made it so that he didn't have time for it. And I felt like that he was like, oh, I know a little bit about it, but I'm just very busy. And it just made me feel like he actually doesn't know anything about it. And he's just saying oh, I'm just so busy. I don't have time for it. And so that concerned me. Otherwise, and same with the Tyler connection, but I think otherwise, I definitely think he'll be good at competitions. He seems very easygoing, so I feel like people, will want to be around him and want to hang around him. And really, it was just my concern with him was just that he doesn't know the show, and not that he needs to really be an expert in the show. I mean, we've seen when super fans, go off the rails, but I just think that it seemed like he didn't. It seemed like he was just kind of going to go with the flow of things and not necessarily be any sort of driving strategist. And maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe he'll go far and then he'll just start winning comps and that's all he needs. But that was just my thought. And that's why he was a little lower down for me, but he was still, near the top of my list anyway.
I really liked Matt. I do worry about the Tyler thing. I'm sure someone in there is going to be like, oh my God, that hair looks just like Tyler.
That's Tyler's brother.
There's more people that'll think he's Tyler's brother than Corey or Jared get clocked by, unless it's by each other.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. But I mean, I do like the fact that he wants to win the first HOH. That does at least demonstrate some level of understanding of how to start your game off. And not only that, but I think it's kind of congruent with what someone else said, with what they would like to do in this house. And I could totally see them trying to get into an alliance with Matt, and that could potentially help Matt get through the game. I think that also being a Deaf Olympian, that's an interesting story. That's something that can draw people to you. He'll have plenty of time to explain how all of that works and explain his impairment and all of that. So I think that he's definitely relatable. I think that he seems, for the most part, very chill and just here for the time, here for the ride, and not intense. So I'm hopeful that he'll do well. I do worry because, if you're an Olympian, you're competitive. And sometimes it's hard to turn that off. So when he's already talking about, well, I got to make sure I don't win everything, he's already, in my mind, that says you think that you have the capacity to win everything. So I'm like, ooh, if you're feeling endangered, are you really going to throw the competition? So that's my reservation, but he was definitely in my top 4 for sure.
Yeah. I think for Matt, I am also worried about the other house guests and the concern over Matt reading lips, that I feel like that I know he says he's not going to tell people, but I do think that will come up a lot. I think people will ask him if he can read lips, and then he may be put into a situation where he has to lie. And then, this information that he might get from reading lips, then if that gets out, I do think that it could create some mistrust with Matt in the house, where if people are not working with him, I feel like that could be a reason to target him. But I do feel like that he's somebody who does seem to instinctually know the way to operate in the house and is going to be somebody who's very easy to get along with. All right. Anything else on Matt? All right. Now, here we go. Let's go to Melissa. Okay. Voice of the people. So far, first 4 picks, all men. Okay?
True.
Melissa, will you change it up or keep the streak
Not
going?
the pressure.
Well,
You
yeah,
got
it's
2
like,
picks. You got 2 picks.
Melissa, you're a woman. You should pick a woman. Well, look, here's the
Melissa,
thing.
you pick who you want to pick.
I will. And actually, my first pick is still on the board, so I feel
Love
very
that.
good. My first pick, and this is going to be, my number 1 draft is America.
America.
Oh.
Okay.
That was my number 1.
Typical voice of the people,
I just
picking
had,
America, the whole
Yes.
of America.
It's all of America, my people. No, yeah, I really, at first I was like, for whatever reason, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I like her. And then the more I listened, the more I was, impressed and intrigued by her. I felt like she, is clearly a big fan of the show. And I like that she might go out of the gate and just be like super hard, like playing too hard, too fast. She wants to manipulate and whatever. She wants to play the game that we want to see. And maybe that's going to be a bad thing, but it seemed like she just, had a good head on her shoulders. She seemed smart. And I just feel like because she knows the show, she'll hopefully know that she can't just like go in guns blazing, and that she's really going to hopefully, stay a little low key at first and then really turn it on. And so I'm excited to see what she does. She seems like she's going to be an entertaining player for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
America Lopez, Melissa's first pick overall. All right. How are we feeling about America?
I liked America. I feel like I've seen a lot of people be kind of skeptical of her, but I don't know that I share that skepticism as much. I feel like she seemed very personable and knows the show really well, wants to play hard. I think those are all really good things. So yeah, I'm optimistic about America.
Yeah.
Which
it's hard to be
is not true
these
about
days.
the country, unfortunately.
Yeah. America is an idea. America is about bringing people together here in Big Brother 25. God bless America, said Julie Chen Moonves.
She would.
Yeah.
I mean,
thought she
I
was
feel
fun.
like, yeah, so did I. I thought, she said she wants to lay low in the beginning. That's good. She wants to come off as bright and bubbly. She talked about using, her skills in the kitchen to sort of like have this kitchen strategy where, she's in the central part of the house making meals. She wants to get a little bit of flirtation going on. So all of those are things that she can definitely work to her advantage. So yeah, I there's no reason to, she didn't give me anything to say that she wouldn't do well.
America runs on Duncan.
Rob, there's no
Sure.
Duncan on the season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rob, they're on the West Coast there.
Here's the thing, right? I know there's still, I feel like today was a big day to kind of confirm what the theme of the house was, right? The whole metaverse thing came out, so that's a thing. We know that there's some references to, the world's a little upside down. Now, if this time laser that Frankie Grande did a 360 to activate ends up unleashing some old twists into the house for a little bit. And I know, Taran, you earlier I watched you talk about how you don't think it's going to be one from week to week, even if there's a little. If a semblance of Team America or America's player gets thrown in, there's no world they don't use the America on the show to put in there. So from that standpoint, she's got something going for her. The guy wheeling in the background agrees with me, apparently. I don't know. I'm very like 50-50 with America, because everything in her video was, I want to let you know how much of a fan I am. But then I was waiting for her to give me reference. I mean, you're such a fan. Cite your sources. Give me the sources. And she wouldn't, which made me feel like, doth said super fan too much for me? I don't know. So we'll see where she goes. It's a high ceiling situation. Anything can go. She can either do really well or not, but I think she'll be entertaining either way. So it's a good pick from that regard for sure.
Okay. All right. Anything else on America?
Oh, there's plenty to say about America.
Yeah, which one?
You know what? I'm very psyched to have America here. All right, Melissa. So you get to go again. 2 picks in a row here for Melissa.
Yep. So, you know, feminist era over. I'm going to pick...
Did it begin?
Can I just say, I picked the guy specifically because Melissa was coming after me and I expected her to pick 2 bros.
Oh!
Wow, Taran. Wow. Rude.
Dang.
Yeah.
Rude. I'm all about the ladies. He's just trying. He knows he's next pick, so he wants me to pick another woman. So that
Melissa, last season's BB Cat 11 draft, though.
Don't
Look,
fall
guys,
into his
it
Mojo
was
Dojo
one
Kaza house.
Time. Okay, fine. Okay, here's the deal. I'm going to pick Cameron.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like he's a fan of the show. He seems really excited to be there and that like grateful for it. And I do really like that. I also feel like he seems like really easygoing, seems easy to get along with. And I feel like he's not gonna, you know, create any waves early on. And so hopefully that will carry him a bit further. And then hopefully he can kind of kick it into gear. He says he's really athletic. He says that he's a huge fan of the show. He seemed to have good strategy when asked, you know, about that, which, by the way, I was very impressed with everybody's answers. I already, you know, posted this, but like, I was very impressed with this. I feel like this is like the first year when asked, like, what's your strategy going into the house? Everybody had an answer and wasn't just like, I'm just going to be myself. So I really did like and appreciate that everybody said something with substance. So yeah, I don't know. I just felt good about Cameron. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked Cameron. You know, I liked hearing him talk about how it's going to be hard to be away from his daughter. He seems very grounded. You know, I think he's what 35, something like that. Has been auditioning for the show numerous times, so like persistence is obviously key in Big Brother. I think that he's gonna make the most of this chance now that he finally got on it. I like to hear him talk specifically about how this is Big Brother 25, and obviously that was a prompted question, but I think that he's one of the people that really understands the gravity of the tradition of the show, and I think that he really wants to be there, similar to Corey, and try to make it a good season, give the fans something that they want to see. So yeah, I think that he seems very warm. You know, those kind of Southern accents are always so like homely and like just like syrupy and just make you feel good most of the time, because you know last season we could have, you know, but yeah, I just I think that he'll do well. I do worry a little bit about whether or not he can like match the energy of the house, because a lot of these people seem to be a little bit more bubbly, a little bit more like you know, a little bit more intense than he is. So I wonder if he can sort of, if him not being on that level will be an advantage or will it be a disadvantage. So we'll see.
Yeah, he seems so laid back, Taran. How does that energy typically play in the house where people are like so effervescent and bouncing off the walls, especially in the beginning?
Yeah, that's one of my primary concerns with Cameron is, you know, I think it can work for you to be laid back and not super, you know, outgoing or like getting out there.
Outgoing.
But if you are that person, you need to be like really cool. Like you need to be like really desirable for the other people, because if you're not, then they'll just ignore you and leave you out. If they really want to work with you or want to be friends with you because you seem really cool or you seem really like you might be very valuable in the game, you might win a lot of comps, maybe something like that, then people will start to gravitate toward you, and the laid back kind of attitude might, come into play for your benefit. But if there's other stuff going on and you're just kind of sitting back and letting things happen, I don't think that's going to be generally very good for you.
I think that's very well put, Taran, because honestly, he's a huge question mark to me. The laid back stuff could go right or wrong. Because being laid back means you're not typically going to be in the driver's seat, so you need the invite into the car. If he gets the invite into the car, Rob, he'll just chill his way in for a while. Even if there's drama, he's unbothered. He's chilling. We don't know.
He's like a great third or fourth number in the alliance.
Right. But if the car gets filled up and they don't got room for Cameron, he's going to get left behind. And then he's just going to be a easy, let's just shoot down the middle and take out a Cameron on a week. I don't want to make any waves. I could see that. But also, and I haven't put my finger on it because I really can't read him. If I was to nominate someone to be the gotcha of preseason, they seemed fine. And then season started in the Winston, the macaroni, it's Cameron. I'm putting Cameron in that point. He could end up being low. I didn't see this coming at all. So I don't know. I don't know about Cameron is the truth.
All right. Anything else on Cameron?
Great hair.
Great hair. Big Brother, I think that they will be like casting people who are like, oh, that guy's got funny hair. Put him in the show.
Yeah, his hair's going to get strained at some point, right? That's happening this season. It's 100 days.
Yeah.
Someone's going to strain this man's hair.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. It'll be the 5-year anniversary of when that happened to Tyler. So got to bring it back. Okay. For new Big Brother Cameron. Bring it back. Let's go back to Taran here. Okay. This is going to be pick number 7 overall. Taran's second pick.
All right. So for this pick, I'm again gonna go. So, like I said, there's a lot of 25-year-olds, and I'm really looking at like Matt is a little older. I'm looking at like the slightly older people. Matt's 27, and I think 30 is going to be a really good age for this group. Somebody who definitely knows at least some of the show. Inspired by some top tier players. I'm gonna go with Mecole.
This is the pick.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna get back to me. Okay.
Thievery.
Yeah, I knew she'd get back to me. That's why I picked Matt first.
All right. Here she is. Let's talk about political consultant Mecole.
She had one of my favorite lines. Obviously, she didn't talk a lot about strategy, but what she did say was, I'm not here to play somebody else's game, which I think is a very valuable skill to have in Big Brother, because a lot of people lose Big Brother by playing somebody else's game. The fact that she's not going to, the fact that she's going to be, again, just a little older than a lot of that like pack there, but will still very easily fit in with them, I think is going to be very good. I think she might be put into a leadership position. She's a political consultant. I think that people might look to her for guidance, and I think that's going to be very good for her early positioning. So I like all of that. Hopefully, she doesn't become too big of a threat in that situation. That is definitely a risk for that kind of player. But I just think that she has a lot of valuable skills and a lot of potential here.
Yeah, I love that she's a political consultant, of course, that we have Helen that we can remember from Big Brother 15, who also worked in politics. But also one of my favorite all-time Survivor players, of course, King George from Bankstown, from Australian Survivor. I wonder, though, that politics is a dirty game. And I think that there is like a idea of like, oh, okay, this person's a politician. They're, sort of like a, phony. But I do feel like that it's a little bit hardball. And I feel like that a lot of Big Brother is more softball than like being super confrontational and, being coming at things like in a very direct way as you might in politics. Whereas I feel like that the Big Brother is just such a game of like very, very small minor moves that nobody is noticing.
I mean, I think that's fair. I think if we look at Helen, you know, she had maybe not the most subtle of touches, but it was certainly soft. You know, you are literally Janelle. You are literally Janelle. You can do this.
Too bad
you know?
it wasn't a soft touch when she got pushed.
Hey,
Yeah.
if Helen doesn't get pushed, easy win, right?
Oh,
I mean, come on.
In the multiverse, does Helen not get pushed?
Exactly.
Changes everything.
Certainly.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the same thing, Rob. I thought immediately about Helen, and I thought it was like, you know, Helen was really doing a really good job of running the game in the beginning. But the minute that she didn't get what she wanted, it was like, oh, okay, you're going home next. You're next. Like she it was that was it. So I'm like, I just thought the same thing for Mecole because she has a very dominating type of aura about the thing that I wrote down next to her, what she said about strategy. I have 2 words: political backstabbing. That's what I wrote for Mecole. So I'm like, I think that that's very great TV, and I think that that's certainly something that can serve her well. I think it depends on what the cast around her gives. Do we have like a BB16-esque cast with these people where it's going to be very easy for her to just sit up and just do what she needs to do? Or is there going to be people that are kind of like her and push back? And when that pushback does happen, does the hardball politics that we know right now in this country, is that what's going to kick in for her? Or is it going to be more of the shake everybody's hand, kiss everybody's baby, which is also what she said. So I'm like, I think that there's definitely room to see where she can like find that balance. Right now, I'm getting a little bit more of the bam, bam, bam. So I'm like, whoo, I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited to watch her play for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Aman, did you see her video?
I feel
where
like
she
she
said,
has like a.
Oh, go ahead, Melissa.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think that she has a lot of potential, and I'm excited to watch her play. But I totally agree. Darn it, I'm like cutting out.
No, you're good.
You sound good to us.
Okay. Aman, did you see her
I'm
video?
like, everything's freezing.
Okay. Well, let me give Melissa a minute here to regroup. But Aman, did you see her video where she talked about all the different things she's going to bring into the game, all the different Big Brother players that she's going to channel, and also she's going to bring Tyra Banks in?
No, I don't think I saw that clip. But what does bringing Tyra Banks? How is that going to serve her?
I don't know. We're all rooting for you, Mecole.
That's someone who I think that, model my Big Brother game after, but more power to her.
You know, the way the preseason works, the cast drops, and every single person who watches this show turns into the best detective on this planet, and they have unearthed Mecole's Twitter.
Yeah.
And
Okay. I don't know.
I did
Is this
see that.
breaking news?
It's a read and a half. You would never expect. You can you'll read one tweet, you do not know what the next tweet is.
Breaking news are happening now.
Yes.
You thought I was reading these on the podcast.
Okay,
You
well,
are mistaken.
Can you give us some of the topics that Mecole is tweeting about?
No.
Okay.
It is probably NSF.
I mean, NSFW in there's a lot of different directions.
NSFP, not safe for podcast, probably.
Not safe for podcasts. Okay.
It genuinely reads that you don't know where the next one's coming from.
Is this like hot political takes from political consulting?
Some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just take a gander. See for yourself.
Yeah.
See for yourself. Just picture Chappelle got on the show in 10 years, and then people were looking at his Twitter the day after he got on.
Okay. All right.
Same energy.
Yeah, but Chappelle, if you're watching and you ever get on Big whole thing.
Delete tweets.
Yeah.
Delete
cookies,
your life.
friend.
Delete your life, Chappelle.
Isn't the move? Don't you make the Twitter private before? Maybe she's like, hey, Twitter's going down. I don't need to do that. Take that, cross that off my list.
Listen,
Exit
the
out.
Twitter's been public. These tweets are from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, and she's been living her life. So
okay.
Yeah.
So all right. She was what? She was only 20. Okay. All right. So I gotta just try to search for Mecole. I'm getting Mecole Hardin. Okay. All right. I'll file that away. Bookmark that for later. Okay. Taran, anything else on Mecole?
I think we're good.
All right. So there you go. All right. There is Taran's second pick. How you doing, Melissa?
Hopefully good.
Yeah, it's great. Great. Okay.
Seems
All right.
better.
Fun draft so far. All right. So, I mean, this is where things are going to start to get interesting now. Okay. All right. So this is going to be, I believe, the 8th pick overall. And so then we will have our bottom half coming up after this. So I believe I'm going to go with the highest ranked person on my board right now. And so I'm going to go with, look, we got this time laser. There's a lot of problems in the house. If anybody can fix the time laser and the hole in the multiverse, it has to be a molecular biologist. So give me Kirsten.
All right.
25, a little bit on the younger side. We've got a younger team with Kirsten and Corey so far. She is not the biggest Big Brother fan ever. She talked about that it was always on and her family watches it, but she seems like that she's going to come in, be very personable, incredibly smart. And let's see what happens with Kirsten.
I like Kirsten a lot. I think if not for the fact that she didn't seem to know the show super well, she would have been really up there. I mean, she still was on my list. I think that she a couple of things concern me. One is that she doesn't seem to know the show super well. Another is that she plans to hide her job. And I don't know exactly how she plans to do that. Molecular biologist, I think you could easily just say it's something else. Like you could literally just say the same job has a different name and people wouldn't be that intimidated. Molecular biologist sounds just really intimidating. But if you just said, yeah, I work with plants, it'd be fine. You know what I mean? So I would love for her to lie about her job in that way and not in the way where she's like, I'm a substitute teacher. Yeah. Because that would be less fortunate. But I do like that she wants to align with strong people early. I think any sort of impetus to get people into wanting to align with people early is a good thing. It's the people who sit back and wait that get left behind.
Yeah, this is who I was referring to when we were talking about
I really
Matt.
liked her. Right.
Okay.
You can go ahead, Melissa. I don't know if she can hear her.
Okay. I think she's going to.
I think Aman should go.
Okay. All right. Aman, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, this is who I was referring to when we were talking about Matt earlier. And, getting in good with someone that's strong. And then I don't love the fact that she wants to steamroll, but I mean, the steamrolling strategy is when, it works. So, it's not a bad strategy. It's not a bad strategy to try and use. She does seem a little low key, but I think that she's smart. I think that she is someone that can probably pick up on all of the nuances of the game pretty easily. And I feel like maybe not being the most hardcore Big Brother fan could work to her advantage because she's kind of just sitting back and doing just enough to get by. And then by the time it is time to rev things up, she understands that it's time to rev things up. So I think that she's someone that can observe and just, be aware of what's going on. And
I agree.
And make the right decision.
I agree. Aman, I think if you can understand the power of the atom, I'm pretty sure you could get your head around the power of veto.
Will she be will she be unstoppable at Tiny Veto?
Yes. Yes.
She better.
Look, if you're working with molecules and you can't do a tiny veto, then something's wrong, girl.
Yeah. And look, this is Kirsten Elwin we're talking about, not Kirsten Luz. All right? Think about it. She's got this.
All right.
Okay? America runs on
I
Duncan.
agree.
Yes.
Pooya.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Your second pick is coming. All right. Who do you want to pair with Jag? Poor Melissa. And she's frozen up and she looks like she's choking also.
I know. I hate that image.
Her internet is choking. Okay. All right. So, Pooya.
Yes.
Where will you go with your second pick?
I'm in disbelief that this person has dropped Timmy here. I almost want to not pick them and pick someone that I know Aman wants to pick probably. But I'm not going to do that because then I will be like, listen, I got a gift. Let us both be happy, Aman, right? Let us both get gifts here.
I think I know what I don't think you're correct in what you're thinking, but I'm going to let you do what
okay.
Well, that's who I want as well. So I feel like we should both want the same things, but we'll see. I'm going to pick someone who I'm actually Beth has dropped this low. I'm going to pick Hisam.
Okay.
Yeah. Put him on my team. Hisam fascinates me. I love it's like Hisam does everything and then has come in with this specific strat that he would like to see, which is, and y'all talked about this yesterday on the first impressions, where he wants a ride or die on the other side. And then we are here and we keep everything neutral. The reality is, I hope Hisam is willing to go in, mix in and out, and do other stuff if the plan doesn't work. I really do. I hope he's not like rigid on the plan. However, low key, there's like maybe a team thing happening, so this might kind of work out anyway. This might look good,
Yeah, we didn't talk about that yesterday. That it seems like that. So Goueli did a house tour that was part of the CBS morning show, and there was a lot of circumstantial evidence that the house could be divided. Taran, we said jokingly, could there be a red America versus blue America twist in the offing here? And ultimately, I don't think that's what we're doing. But it does seem like that maybe we might have two teams.
It's possible. Yeah, there's a theory going around, especially that there's a blue and pink kind of theme happening, which honestly is more credible to me than blue and red, because the idea that they put a blue and a red in the house and also themed it that way, while it does theoretically make sense, doesn't quite track if you believe or subscribe to the idea that blue was an alternate, which would mean that they couldn't have planned for the blue and the red. But if it's just random colors like blue and pink, then it makes a little more sense. It honestly, to me though, could also just be that, like, in the same way that they're just grabbing the multiverse thing because that's what's like popular in comic book movies right now. They were also just like,
gender reveals are hot.
Barbie right now is hot. Why don't we just throw in a bunch of pink and contrasting pink with blue, orange with blue? It's pretty.
Do you
typical.
think that the twist is Barbenheimer?
Barbenheimer is what I'm talking about. All right.
Yeah.
Yes. They went for multiverse, but as per usual, they're like 2 years behind on
Midway,
that because
they
the comic book movies are dying out, and Barbenheimer is the new hotness, and they're just like, let's at least get our color scheme in line.
Okay. Wow. Incredible. Wow. Okay. Melissa, you're back with us.
Hopefully, who knows?
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay. Well, that's good.
You buying the Barbenheimer twist?
No. I'm not buying any of these.
Was Oppenheimer a molecular biologist?
I don't know.
Not
I
a biologist.
haven't seen the movie yet. But I'm not buying any of these ideas that, like, oh, it's the blue versus the red, or like, did you notice
Luke
that
is
there's
just
people
Ken.
wearing pink, or there's
He's
people
Ken
wearing blue? I just don't feel like any of that makes any sense. I mean, blue is certainly an alternate. So like you said, I don't think that they like planned a whole season around someone who they weren't even sure they were going to cast until recently. So I don't buy that there's any. I mean, I think there is something to be said for like that there probably is some sort of divide in the house. I mean, there was that video of Goueli that came out where she was like, oh, and here's the kitchen table, and look, you've got half of the places at the table are on one side and they look all normal, and half the places on the table look not so normal. It's totally possible that it's like either that means nothing and it's just like, oh, multiverse, who knows? Or it means like just something for the first like 2 weeks where they divide the house into two teams, and then like that goes away, like normal twist.
Probably.
Or, it could be something more than that. But I don't think that like I don't think they were putting Easter eggs into any of the videos, and I could be totally wrong, but there was a lot of speculation that like certain people were wearing blue and certain people were wearing pink, and that meant that like they were divided into two teams. But I think it was a little like they were trying to find something because you know, they said Red was wearing blue, but he had like a pink shirt on or whatever, and he was just wearing blue overalls over it. So I don't think it was like enough for me to think that there was actually something there. But who knows?
Yeah, nothing would be more Big Brother than Taran doing the live feed update every day and having to explain that blue is on the red team and red is on the blue team.
Yeah, honestly.
That would be good.
Yeah.
It'd be easier than Dire Fest.
Oh, God.
Oh, will one of the teams have to live outside?
Oh, please.
Honestly,
Not like this.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But Pooya, all of this is part of your selection of Hisam.
Yeah, I feel like he's just someone that I enjoyed. You know, I felt, I don't know. I felt like everything I saw from him, I'm like, he seems fun. He seems fun and he tries a lot of things and has done a lot of things. And I'm keen for something like that. Someone that tries a lot of things tries to talk with a lot of different people. And someone who tries to talk with a lot of different people can talk with a lot of different people. So socially, I like that as well. Also, fit, very fit. We like that. Fit is good. And I think that's also nice to consider. I don't know. I feel like because he had this specific plan, I think a lot of people think he's going to overplay and overthink. Certainly possible, but also I'm banking on him being willing to be adaptable is really what it is. And I like the pairing of my team right now. So.
Okay. All right.
I think he, you know, probably has a lot of patience. I mean, to be
He is a doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
geriatric psychiatrist, like that. I mean, psychiatry just in general is, you know, intense. But to work specifically with elders, I think that requires a lot of patience, a lot of care, and willingness to, you know, help people. So at their lowest. So I'm like, I think that he just seems like a really good spirited person. I wasn't turned off by the strategy that he gave us in the DR. I thought that it was like someone took the time to actually think in depth about what they would do. And I think that he has the wherewithal to switch things up if he has to. If the team thing, twin twist, whatever the hell ends up being a thing, he's going to be forced to do that. So I think that I think that adaptability is definitely something that he's up to. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So there we go. There is Pooya's pick, number 9 overall. Okay. So all right. Pooya seemed to feel like he knew what Aman was going to do. Aman said, "You know nothing, Pooya.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm doing." Okay. So let's find out what Aman was thinking and if Pooya was right.
Well, I wanted Hisam, so that's you know, that's who I was going to choose next. But now,
Let's just we'll give Aman a second here. Let me set up who is still on the board here. Okay. All right. We have, in terms of the women that are left, it's Blue, it's Bowie, it's Reilly, and Izzy, and Felicia. And then in terms of the men that are left here, we have Luke and we have Red. All right. And we can take a look at our board right now for anybody who's just joining us. Give you an update on where we're at. Aman got it all started with Jared and now is ready to add his second member. Everybody else has 2 people already. Pooya has Jag and Hisam. Rob has Corey and Kirsten. Taran has M&M, Matt, and Mecole. And Melissa has America and Cameron.
Is it wrong that the second I saw Matt and Mecole both had M's, I immediately looked at the remaining players, and if there had been one more M name, I instantly would have chosen them?
Yeah.
Go for that alliteration.
Interesting strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Can we make up a nickname for someone?
I'm sure we can. Okay. So, Aman. But we do need a pick from you. Otherwise, you get Frenchie. America runs on Frenchie.
I am so dead. Picks.
Aman, let us in on your thoughts because you're not going to get another, like, no one else can pick until you're done now, right?
Actually, Aman, you picked twice.
Yeah, so just let us on all your thoughts now.
Be loosey-goosey with one. You still have another one to go.
Yeah, I guess like if you just if you give away what you're thinking, it's not going to affect your pick. It only affects
I know.
like, our picks.
I know. It's just this I pay for getting Jared, I guess. So I mean, Blue seems very, very fun. I just don't know that. I don't think that she knows what she's doing. I think that she's sort of just a lot. I mean, there's a certain level of the casting week that is very performative. We get it, but something about a lot of her answers were just very canned and just maybe she goes in the house and it's entirely different, and she actually does have some type of standing in this game, but I'm just scared. I want to choose Auntie Felicia, but I mean, we all know the story. She's not going to win any of those comps in the end. Maybe she gets lucky on a couple of them, but like, I just don't see a world in which she gets to the end. But it's going to be so fun to watch her play, especially as the oldest woman to ever compete on the show. Red is a hell no for me. It's not happening. It's just that was never going to happen.
Red means stop for Aman.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I mean, Bowie is interesting. I think that there is some potential for Bowie. And you know, it's fun. This is the second season now in a row that we've had someone with an accent, someone from a different a different continent now. So I mean, and that's fun. And she's obviously she's smart. She's a lawyer. I just don't know if she's like the Big Brother winner. I don't know about that.
Okay.
Oh, this mini cast assessment. Getting.
I will go for someone who I think probably has a better standing in comps. I'm going to go with Luke.
Luke. Oh, wow. Okay. Here he is.
I like that he
kind of comes early.
He referred. He kind of like tried to refer to himself as like a cunning himbo. So it's like, okay, so you're aware of the stereotype in which you occupy. Yeah. So that to me is like, okay. And I kind of already like that we already got to see two sides. Like we got to see him introduce himself in that little weird video that they put up. And then when he's in the DR, he has his glasses. I'm like, okay, so there's like a little bit of duality here. That's fun. That means that you can kind of turn it on and off. He's obviously he's fit. So some of these comps are going to come easy to him. And maybe with someone else like Matt in the house and Jared in the house, you know, some of those people can sort of like take that target fully off of him. He sort of gave the typical answer of, I'm going to try to be everyone's best friend, which we hear a lot of people say whenever they're talking about what they're going to do. So a lot of his answers were a little bit on the, you know, nothing burger side, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't something there worth looking at. So I'm taking a chance with Luke.
Listen, Luke's gonna love this theme more than anybody. As an illustrator,
he's an illustrator. He's an artist.
I was sent some of his artwork today. NSFP, of course, as you would imagine. It's like, okay, I'll describe it to you. No, NSFP, not safe for podcast.
And why would we imagine that? Why would we imagine? You said as you would imagine. Why would I imagine that it's NSFP?
Because this is the second time I brought something up on the pod that I can't really share, so it feels a little teasy.
Yes.
But
Okay. Well. Yeah. Please.
It is teasy.
Okay.
You can describe it with your words.
It's like a lava hot tub. Okay. And Princess Peach is sitting in it, and she's wearing a coconut bra, but instead of coconuts, it's Bowser shells. And she's drinking like a mushroom margarita. And then on it, it says, "Wish you were here," signed Peach. And then the cap. Yeah. And then
Rob, calm down.
And then the caption reads, in my restless dreams, I can still hear Mario scream, "Wah ha 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 ha."
No, that's Wario who says that.
Exactly, that's why I didn't do an impression. I was like, this isn't true. So that's Luke Valentine art, allegedly. That's one of his art pieces.
No one ever said that he was a writer, and maybe he needs to join this strike, okay? But his art stands for itself. Okay?
Yeah, this guy's going to kill it in BB Comics, okay?
But no, I feel like there's like a little more to him than just like that himbo that I got in the beginning. His answers were random. When asked what would you want to hide, he mentioned that he wants to hide that he's a Sagittarius, which straight up I didn't think that was gonna be the answer. So he's a bit of a wild card here. I think he's gonna do better than I thought yesterday. I do think he's gonna do better than I thought. Also, they're saying that's Bowsette. I don't know the lore, so I may have missed up on an explanation. Forgive me, please.
I think he's obviously a little bit of a nerd. I think any artist, illustrator. I mean, it's all about detail, and I think that Big Brother can be a very detail-oriented game. So I think that will serve him well. I think that he'll probably have a lot of different topics and interesting things to talk about with people. There might be showmance potential there, which can be a target, but also we know that showmances also make it to the end in a lot of instances. So I think it's high variance. I think that he's either one of the first out or he's one that kind of goes deep into the game. So I'm gonna hope that he is someone that is on the other side of things. So
okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's totally a wild card pick just because I cannot get a read on him at all. I have no idea what he's like. I feel like every time we've seen a video of him or whatever, it's like a different story. So I really don't know. And so I was interested in picking him, like, just because I have no idea what to expect. It really could go either way. So at this point in our draft, it's kind of like, who knows? So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with him. I have no clue, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't like his photo. I don't like that he's trying to be the Rock.
I don't like the photo
I don't like that he's trying to be the Rock. Stop it.
Well, they told him to do that. They told him.
Why?
To do that. They tell most of they tell most of them how to
They
post.
tell them to do something.
Every time we come out of the house, they're like, I hate my picture. They told me to do that. I'm like, okay. Well, some of them I think they're lying. Some of them like, no, you did that. I know, because I saw you for 99 days, and that was definitely you, sweetie. But they probably told him to do this. That's what I'm gonna believe.
Okay. All right. So Aman, that was only the first of your 2 picks in a row. Okay. So that was the end of the second round.
Okay.
And then we come back to
last one,
the final round. Everybody will go one more time.
Okay, I'm between Blue and Reilly.
Okay.
Between Blue and who?
Blue and
Reilly.
red. It sounded
Blue
like
and red?
Oh, Blue
Reilly.
Okay.
Oh hell no, not red. I feel like Reilly's probably the better choice, but like Blue is like so exciting. She just feels exciting, but I don't know if that's great. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Reilly. I liked her answers better. I liked her answers better than Blue's.
Blue didn't even say
Yeah, I'm
anything,
very
bro.
confused about all this Blue judgment.
Yeah,
What we did get from her was like, no. So I'm like, what I liked that Reilly said was she was going to embrace situational awareness. She doesn't want to float. She knows her strengths. She knows her weaknesses. She knows that she can be a bit ditzy. She knows that she can be a bit out there. But I think that's all something that she's learned from introspection. And I enjoy introspection in just, human beings in general. So I feel like she has a good head on her shoulders. I think that she's going to be fun. I think that people will probably gravitate towards her. She seems relatively inoffensive. She seems unassuming. And she seems like she could probably be good at a couple of these comps. So I think that's a good space to be in. That's a good base level to be at for Big Brother.
Yeah, I like Reilly too. I think that she has a lot of upside for a person this late in the draft. I think that she has the potential to be the person that maybe we might have slept on the most here towards the end of it, because I think that in a lot of past seasons, we have a young woman with blonde hair come into the Big Brother game, and we don't expect much, and they don't give us much. But maybe Reilly is a little bit different and knows the game better than people will assume she does.
Yeah, I mean, I think I initially judged her just off of like looks, which it's wrong, guys. I judged her and I was like, okay, she's already a no for me. But then when I listened to her interview, she was different than I thought she was going to be, and it seems like she actually is a fan of the show. She actually seems very intelligent, and I hate that I said it. She actually seems, but I mean, I was expecting just like the characteristically like blonde in it for a showman, just like I'm going to be myself. I don't know anything about this. You know, I just want to be on TV. But I really do think that it didn't come across that way in the interview. I was impressed with her. So I do think like she could be one to absolutely surprise us coming into the house for sure.
Yeah, I just took a gamble. I thought maybe she'd come back to me. I would have considered picking her in my first 2 picks. If maybe they had been placed a little differently. I think she's definitely got upside. She's also she was a basketball player in college. So like she's a college athlete. Like she's gonna be in there winning comps, I think. And not to be slept on there, and knows the show really well and spoke about strategy really well. And yeah, I mean, I think if people are judging her off of the photo or the general vibe, I think they'll probably be surprised given my read here, but we'll see.
I just felt like she gave me NPC energy. Like the answers, like I didn't connect with it. I don't know. It didn't match. I didn't feel like, I don't know. I didn't know, because I've been seeing a lot of people high on Reilly, and I really hope that I am wrong, because that would be a lot of fun for me to be very wrong and then watch someone do way better than what I expected. Yeah. But I was just big question mark on her the whole time.
So I feel like that Reilly, we are certainly may have been underestimating her, but I think that it doesn't necessarily help that this was the photo that they got for her, which I love, but it's also giving every YouTube React video thumbnail.
It's a great thumbnail for a YouTube video. These are views right here.
Yeah, she's giving us the Macaulay Culkin Home Alone face. If you're listening to, she's just put on some aftershave. Ah! So that is Reilly, what she's giving, but it's a unique memory wall photo. I don't think we've ever had that one before.
I don't think so either.
I like it.
I just appreciate just like how, you know, a lot of her answers seem to be, like I said before, just very introspective. I don't think that we can say the same for some of the other people in the cast. And so I just hope that translates well. And I hope that, I mean, if you can recognize where you stand with not only yourself, but with other people, that's always a good skill to have. So I'm hoping that's, you know, that's the skill set that she brings to the table.
Yeah.
So.
Taran, can we change the thumbnail for the live feed update to just every day? It's like you in this pose.
There you go. See,
here, hold on. Let me just get this so we can get the screenshot. Okay. We do one. Can you move the microphone for one? It's like in your face. Okay. All right. Great. We got that.
Yeah,
perfect.
Shots,
Thank you, Taran.
Yeah. A little bit more smiley, a little bit more like
one more. Okay.
Yeah, just
kind of look alike a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect. Okay, screen grab. Got that tricky.
Yeah, you should also do one that's like kind of like a little like what? Because that's a good YouTube one too. Like there's a lot of different like, you know, like what? Yeah, exactly.
Also, these will make great memes for this season. So I'm excited.
Yeah,
right.
I'm ready. About to be all over the damn place in the next 20 seconds.
Guys, I need to stop. There's a strike going on.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry,
no, you're good. You're good.
He's going against his union.
This is not scripted. Okay. Look, and also a message to all of the studios and everything. Please give the actors and the writers what they want, because we cannot podcast this much reality TV for much longer. Okay. All right. Please. We are at our breaking point. Give the actors, give the writers what they want. All right. We got 100 days of Big Brother, The Challenge, Survivor.
All the traitors. This is
just traitors. That Aman's got a million seasons of Drag Race coming up. Come on.
Oh my God.
All right. Anything else on Reilly? Reilly. Okay.
H-O-H.
She is smart. Okay. All right. Then, all right, back to Rob here for my pick number 3 to round out my team.
I thought it was Pooya.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
Wow,
apologize.
jumping
Jumped
the
the
draft
gun.
order.
No,
Yeah.
America
Yeah,
runs
you really
on
want
Duncan.
to
I don't know
win,
what
guys.
Rob runs on. Just running right over me, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, it's cool. It's cool.
Sorry.
Embarrassing.
Did a wheelie on you right there.
Yeah, seriously. Although, Aman, if you had not said anything, I would have loved to hear who he picks.
What he was gonna? I was about to say
Then
that.
selected
Yeah.
him, then pick them.
Mhm.
Okay. Rob, here's what's going to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick the person that I want to pick. I think they should be on your team. And I think
Okay.
that's where you may have gone. So again,
Okay.
gamble. I want to gamble though. I'm picking someone who we know nothing about.
Okay.
That's
Nothing.
not a gamble. That's
We
the
know
best pick left
nothing.
on the board.
Taran, let me gamble. Who is she? But the color blue. I'm picking blue because honestly, they did blue dirty. All we know from blue is about 15 seconds worth of content that keeps getting redone. But honestly, blue has made the preseason even that much more exciting because wait, she's an alternate. Why? But why is she an alternate when there was someone named Red on the cast? Surely this is comedy. You would put both of them on there. What's going on? It's adding more and more layers, and I'm very much into it. And I would love to see what happens. I'm gonna put blue on my team, though. Is blue for me?
Okay. All right. Here is Blue. Blue Kim.
I feel like Blue has been taking some heat because of the fact that she didn't have a proper interview, and
Right.
all we got from her was like the thing that they make you do for like an intro where she's like, I'm here to win money and be a person.
Yeah.
Woo! Like
No,
that's
but we
like,
also-
that's all she had, and so people are like, "Wow, look at this TikToker!" Like we haven't actually seen who she really is.
She did get to answer one of the questions in the video that Mike Bloom posted, and that's all I could really go off of. In addition to what she showed in that introduction, is when she said her strategy is just to lie and win comps and play a mean social game. I was like, ugh.
But are we
And
sure
yet
it was answering that question? Like,
Yeah,
are
I
we
don't
sure
think-
it wasn't just like a catchphrase thing? Like, one of
Yeah,
those,
that's.
like,
I think
things
that's
they
what it
just had
was.
her
I don't think she
say?
was given the questions. Is the
'Cause
thing,
everyone else got a
and maybe
chance to,
Mike
like,
edited him
casually
asking the question
answer.
in, but I don't think she got those questions.
Because everybody else had
Maybe.
like a time to answer the question and was able to like really like respond in like a real way, and hers was like
Mhm.
just like a sentence.
Yeah. No, this is all we really learned about her. Blue is a brand strategist and would like to hide her job. And I think all she has to do is take the word strategist out, put the word manager in, and no one will ask her anything, and she will live on. Now, if Blue comes in and takes a completely sideways job that has nothing to do with this and might not keep up the lie, I worry. But genuinely, there's nothing but ceiling right now.
Blue
for
sky.
Yeah, sky's blue, and I am not, because I'm very happy with my picks. I'm not sad.
So wait, am I okay? Either I like imagined this, or maybe it was in one video and then got edited out. But like I remember seeing like her being regular and talking to like someone off camera, like being like, "Was that good?" Or like, "Oh, I'll do it, or something," and then saying the line.
Get the
And, like,
Snyder's cut? Like, I didn't see
I
this.
saw it, and I was like, "That's funny that they kept that in. That's embarrassing." And now I'm thinking back, and I'm like, it literally must be that she was just like saying a one-liner each time and wasn't actually answering like questions, because it was like she was asking like, is that good or something. Like I don't remember exactly what it wasn't.
Well,
like you could hear anything, but it was like then she like went back to like, okay, whatever.
What's
and then did
interesting
her
is
like anyway.
her video was filmed with the same background that all the pictures have. So I wonder if they were shooting some like, you know, a couple of extra one-liners and then they used hers because she didn't have a DR, which I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, other people saw it too. I didn't just imagine it. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Someone
No
sent it to me so I
Mandela
can see
effect
it.
here.
And it
Yeah,
did look like some of her speaking was a different green screen. Like I know that it was like
Or a
still that
blue
gray
screen.
background. It was still that gray background, but it was like it was some of them were like just straight and some of them were a little wrinkled. And I think hers was different than
This might just be from her audition
tape.
tape for all we know. Like,
yeah,
who knows with Blue?
Yeah, and it's entirely possible that she is that person and is like, you know, just high energy all the time. But I don't think we have any way of actually knowing anything about who she really is based on that.
Yeah. No, she's the mystery box, and sometimes the mystery box is good. I mean, I go back to BB21 where Tiffany said like nothing in her interviews, had like one-word answers to things. And we're like, well, we don't know, nothing to see here. Yeah, I drafted her very high, but
you did.
You know, you never know.
Who knows? We'll find out.
We'll find out. Okay. Yeah. All right. So there is Pooya's third and final pick. Blue. Okay. Probably not who I was going to pick, though. Okay.
I'm
going to go with somebody who I think is also a wild card here. Somebody that I'm excited to see in the house.
No.
And yeah, what do you think?
Where are you going? Where are you going, Rob? Where are you going?
I have some high hopes for a player who's going to make history, the oldest woman to play in Big Brother.
That's the one.
Okay. Hi, Felicia. Okay.
Yes.
Here we go. I'm going to go with Felicia. I just feel like that, look, traditionally, the older player in the house is going to be discounted, but I just think that she's going to be like a good vibe to have around the house. Like, I feel like that nobody's in a hurry to get rid of her. And I guess, you know, somebody could say like, oh, I'm going to put Felicia on the block, but I feel like that the house is going to like having her around, not be so quick to get rid of her. And if she can't win a comp at the end of the game, presumably, but, you know, she's sitting there in the final two. I feel like that she could probably give like one hell of a good speech why they should vote for her.
Yeah, I like her a lot. I mean, honestly, my main reservation is just the age thing, which, like, you know, that could end up being not important at all. And I hope that's the case. But, you know, I liked her interview. I feel like she's really smart. She's had a lot of like life experience, obviously, with like having two separate jobs and being retired twice. And so I'm excited to see what she does. I really like that they cast someone like older in the house, because I hate when it's like, oh, the old guy, and it's like a 45-year-old.
I hate that too, Melissa. so
much.
You
know, this one, you know, I'm very excited. I'm excited to see what she'll do. It seems to me like she can relate to all the other people in the house. It didn't feel to me like there's going to be that much of a disconnect. It wasn't like, oh, she's clearly the older person. Like, it just felt
fellow
regular.
Kids.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited to see what she does.
Yeah, I'm excited to see her too, and I am so prepared to go to war for her. Like, I will be her ultimate defender this entire season. She reminds me of so many of the older women in my family. So, and I think that she has like this like just very like warm presence. So I don't anticipate her being a first boot. Like, I feel like people would be offended if someone were like, well, let's just get Felicia out of here. I'll be like, no, I'm not nominating Felicia. With that being said, I think that she's someone that's going to go all the way to the end, but can't really win, because at that point, it's like, if we let her get too far, she's going to win. So I think she'll probably be sort of like have a Kevin trajectory from BB19. She'll make it to like the final 6-5, and then she's out of there.
Yeah. But, you know, Kevin was like kind of like street smart, but he wasn't like sort of like wise in the ways of the game. And I feel like that Felicia is sort of like giving me a little bit more that she like will have a sense of what's going on in the house. Not like gonna be like a Jerry who is really just sort of like out of it and cantankerous. That I think that like Felicia understands what the job is here, to like ingratiate herself to a group of people that are going to be younger than her. And I think that she could potentially be set up well to like exert some influence here.
Yeah.
I think that like obviously winning like some very physical end game comps like they've unfortunately had is probably going to be a tall order for Felicia. However, I think that there's a good chance that she is underestimated for people who are winning those competitions. They might feel like, here's an easy person to bring to the end. And then Felicia strikes me as the kind of person that will be able to command respect and maybe catch some votes that people weren't anticipating. So,
okay,
not a bad pick.
Yeah.
All right, so we're down to just 2 picks left in our draft. Taran will go, Melissa will go, and you, the audience, will get your very own player in the game. Okay? All right, Taran, it all comes down to you here. Okay, you will not only make your pick, but you will leave Melissa with only 2 picks to choose from.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I was informed that there actually is an M name still available.
Yes.
It's not somebody I intended to pick.
Are you really going to do this?
Now, I'm not picking yet, but apparently Red's real name, it might be Michael.
Okay,
yeah.
This is from a Bradley Michael. This could be an epic troll. This was a super comment, a super chat. Taran, Red's real name is Michael from Bradley Michael in the chat.
Here's the thing. I'm very committed to memeing, and to get 3 M's would be very, very important to me. So for that reason, I have to choose Miranda Bowie.
Okay, here we go. And
the person in charge of the pictures got very confused.
Yes, yeah, you threw me off. All right, here we go. Let's talk about the woman of many names, Miranda, Bowie, Jane. Okay, Taran, how are you feeling about Bowie?
Honestly, I feel pretty good about her. I think the biggest downside for Miranda, I'm calling her Miranda, for Bowie is her age. At 45, both her and Hisam would be I believe the oldest winners of the show if they were to win. This is an older cast though, which is good, and she's planning on lying about her age, which I think she might be able to get away with.
She's done it before.
And I think that it could genuinely help her to a degree. I think she's very personable. Seems to have like a charisma to her. She also had really good answers, I thought, for strategy. Again, wanting to get into like a big alliance early. She recognizes that it's a numbers game at the beginning. She also had one of my favorite sayings that I'd give to anybody going into the Big Brother house, which is, if you don't think there's a big alliance in the house, then that just means you're not in it. So going in knowing that, very good. Another person that said that early on in a game, Tiffany. So I like a lot of what she was saying strategically. She's been watching the American version for 8 years. There's a lot to like here. I think again, it's really just the age that is the biggest potential detriment. But I don't think it's going to be that much of a detriment this season. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I liked her a lot. I feel like I thought she was really personable. I felt like the accent is probably going to work in her favor because I feel like people love to like talk to someone with an accent or listen to someone with an accent. So I feel like that's great. She's a lawyer, which I think is great because she also has another career as a DJ. So I feel like it's easy for her to just be like, yeah, I'm a DJ. But I don't know if she's planning on saying she's a lawyer or at all at any point, but
she's not planning to tell people.
Okay, that's probably what I figured. But I think the one thing that confused me was when she was saying that she was gonna like lie about her age, I guess, because she was saying she was gonna say she's 34, and I'm like, I'm 33. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's like she looks way older than
11
me.
years is
Melissa. You look amazing for 33.
Thank you. I look very youthful, right? Like
yes.
I look really good.
You
okay,
look no older than 23.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ooh,
so
right,
you
thank
need
you.
to tell
That's
people
what
that you're
I was looking for.
23 to make this work for Bowie. If you
Okay,
could.
cool. Yeah, I'll start doing that.
Yeah.
I'll start doing that.
Yes, you got to
yeah.
pay it forward.
Yeah. Okay, cool. No, I just really liked her. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I think honestly, I don't think the photo does her as much justice. Seeing her in the interview, I felt like I could, if she said 30s, maybe, and I think she said 34, which might be pushing it. But I think that if she said like late 30s, I would easily believe her. If she said like 36, I think I'd be like, sure.
Yeah,
fine.
I think I would be I think early 30s, maybe not, but
sometimes people say their age, and I'm like, I thought you were 35 and you're 21. And sometimes they say their age, and I'm like, I thought you were 21 and you're like 36. So, I feel like it can go all over the place.
This is also the show where someone who was 34 in like 17 was like the grandmother. You know what I mean? So like, I don't think it's going to be an issue. I think looking at everyone else, like there's age diversity going on off the board. I don't think anyone's going to be like, you know what, that Bowie, she's lying about her age. I don't like that. I feel like I don't think that's going to happen. I think having the double jobs, like Melissa said, you can put one aside, stick to the DJ one, and you'll be fine. That'll be good. My thing with Bowie was that I don't think Bowie understands what she has signed up for. I really don't. And one of the answers that stuck out to me was the whole thing with you got to be in the big alliance at the beginning because it's a numbers game, but only in the beginning. I was like, it's a numbers game throughout. Like if you got numbers from the beginning, hold them to the end if you can. Mentioning the intruders coming in, like y'all have talked about already. I feel like Bowie might not be well ready for what's about to happen.
Time laser if intruders aren't going to come in. Think about it.
There have already been intruders. She's already figured it out.
She's ahead of the game.
They've already been intruded. Aman, I know you loved the time laser bit the other day, right?
I loved it. I thought it was so funny, so campy, just bubbly and fun. I love it.
Yeah, you know what? Frankie Grande, and I haven't been the biggest Frankie Grande fan over the years. You know, he's on a show that my kids watch, Henry Danger, and he plays a villain, Franchini, and like he was very much like leaning into that. My kids were like, "Hey, look, Franchini was in the Big Brother house. Look what he's up to now.
Oh my God,
his evil ways."
Look, I feel like if he's, embracing the whole like villain thing and playing the villain, I think that's great. I think that, it's when he's trying to be the good guy. But I liked it. I liked that little intro. And I feel like a lot of people were like, oh, come on, it's so cheesy. It's like, okay, like, but just have fun. Like, at this point, like, I've given up on trying to make Big Brother a serious thing. I think like as long as the live feeds are still going, like that's all we can really ask for at this point.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I know we're about to be at the end of this draft. Can I just quickly say, even people that I'm like not really sure about, I really like this cast. I think we're going to have a fun season. I think the feeds are going to be fun this season. So even if I'm nitpicking anybody, this is going to be fun. Trust. I feel good about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
I've been very impressed with this cast so far. I feel like a lot of the time when we like have a draft and we only get like one pick, there's only like 5 good picks and then everyone else is just like, ugh, I don't know. That's when I'm worried. But I feel like this one, like I would be happy honestly taking any of them. I feel like there's upside to like any of these picks, even when we're like joking around about certain people being left to the end. Like I just think like they could surprise us. I don't see any like total duds here.
You could watch a lot of the old drafts and all the picks in the 3rd round, like, okay, all right, whoa, all right, here we go. This is not the case this season. All right, but Melissa.
Yeah, and I also feel like fingers crossed, knock on wood, let's hope this doesn't happen. But I feel like no one's really been canceled yet that's been in this cast. Like it hasn't been. I feel like when the cast is released, you always find people who they're like, oh, get this person out of here, like, blah, blah, blah. And maybe it's not true with Turner or whatever, who knows. But I do feel like this one, I haven't really seen, and maybe I've just missed it, but I haven't seen a lot of like bad news.
Nothing so far. Although I will say we've just created a great meme template for you to put the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme. If something bad happens or if the season's not good, just take this, put that theme. You got yourself a video. You're welcome.
Yep.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me just give people, this is such an amazing cast. One of the best of all time. Worst cast ever. We're in for a terrible season.
You can't lose now.
Good,
I play both sides so that I always,
end up on top.
Okay. All right. Taran's playing the middle like hi Sam. Okay. Melissa, you have option A. Izzy, option
Yes.
B, red.
Yes. I am certainly going to pick Izzy.
Okay, all right. The
Yo.
final pick of the night tonight.
That's why I
He loved
didn't
the
make
draft,
it all.
honestly.
I didn't do a
Izzy.
little drum roll or anything.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I really liked Izzy's interview. I feel like I thought that she was funny, and I thought that she had a good personality and knows the show. I mean, yes, she says she only started watching in January, but it does seem like she knows the show. And so, I respect putting in the work. Taylor wasn't really a huge fan of the show before she came into the house. And then, once she watched a bunch of seasons, she came to really respect it and was like, I want to, do right by the show. And I feel like if you've got someone who is a newer fan, but actually puts the work in, like, I'm all for that. So I don't care. It doesn't matter if you didn't start watching at the beginning, whatever. So I really hope, I'm hoping for good things from Izzy. I was impressed by their interviews. So, I'm just excited to see where she goes.
I think Izzy got a lot of people going when she mentioned that she had watched she had a super fan, but from January 2023, 1, and then 2 saying that she watched every season almost twice. And people were like, nope, you're lying, which I don't think she necessarily watched all of them twice. I'm not going in thinking she's going to be an amazing strategist by any means, but that is commitment to, you got interested in the show, or you were in the process, you did your homework, you watched it, and I think you're going to be good socially. I think if you got it, flout it, and she's gonna flout it.
Yes, good call. Yeah, I don't know why we have to gatekeep the fandom so much. Like, if somebody watched 22 seasons of Grey's Anatomy from January, I am a Grey's Anatomy super fan, nobody would be like, you know nothing about Grey's Anatomy. You weren't there all the years.
The one difference is
Izzy.
feeds.
Yeah.
The one difference is feeds is that if you have just binge watched the show since January, Grey's Anatomy, there's nothing more to that than just watching the episodes versus this, where it's if you haven't seen the feeds, it is a very different level of fandom. And I don't want to say that, that means you're not a fan, but it's a totally different game when you're watching the feeds versus when you're watching the show. So I do think that it is fair to be well, you don't know all of it. You can't just say I know the show inside and out. The TV show, which Big Brother's more than that.
But also I feel because I think honestly it's the phrasing, right? And this is, for me personally, I've kind of given up. If someone says big fan, mega fan, super fan, you're just like the show, and I'm gonna go off of that. I feel like the definition gets muddied because obviously they'll say super fan, then they've not really been in the trade. You know who's a super fan? Every person, myself included, who sat here at noon on a Monday with 2 coffees ready, looking at stuff.
America and Pooya, run on Duncan,
checking on leaks. Yeah, that level, yes, okay, but I feel like I just like someone who has the enthusiasm to enter our realm and learn about all this stuff. And honestly, if you're not watching it live as it comes out, getting the feeds on the off season is near impossible. I know there's probably ways to do it, but it's if it's the door's only open for 3 months, they might not necessarily join. So the doors are open. Come in. Maybe you like it. Maybe you end up watching live the next year, right? So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with that. I think I certainly was way more of a gatekeeper a few years ago, but I feel at this point, I just feel bringing more people in to watch the show certainly doesn't hurt it.
Yeah, so I think that where this comes from is that there would be across both Survivor and Big Brothers, there's a long history of the Mactors coming in, and then they've watched one season, and then they said they were a fan, and they get fundamental things wrong here.
What?
So, but Izzy has legitimately watched all the seasons. That even if she watched them recently,
I feel like the biggest self-report is the little articles they've put in the house that are the false news headlines. I can't wait for someone to get up there and try and be like, yeah, no, that totally happened, and really call themselves out by doing that self-report. So that'll be very funny if Izzy goes up and says, "Oh yeah, Victoria killed it her season." Okay, you didn't watch them all once.
Yeah,
I liked Izzy. I thought she was fun. My biggest concern about her, honestly, was her strategy. She wanted to start the game slow, then turn it on at the end and win comps. I don't think that's a good strategy for Izzy. I don't think that's right. I think that like she's having to rely on comp wins at the end if she even makes it there, having played very slowly. It's just not the play. I think I want to see her playing a little more aggressively, and certainly not like relying on comps.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's the story about Izzy. But what about the person that didn't get picked? What about the audience's selection? An audience, the person that has the ultimate time laser to be able to destroy Rob as a podcast, but just by winning 100 days of Big Brother, it's Red.
I feel like that photo isn't doing him any justice in regards to like us wanting to pick him in the draft. Like, I don't know.
I mean, this is our TikToker, for the record.
Yes.
Yeah. Biggest audience on TikTok by far of the people here, over 500,000.
That went well last season, right?
Who was I forgot. Here's the thing. I watched some of his videos.
What could go wrong?
He seems like he's got fun, like excitement, right? That energy's there. However, I don't think Red will be able to hide in this house. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Red's going to be the lay low guy. I don't think that's going to be in the cards for Red. So then Red has to then be in the driver's seat potentially. And I don't know how Red would look in the driver's seat. I think there's potential. I think the audience has gotten worse last picks than Red. I will say that. I think Red, Red could go either way for me. I don't necessarily think Red's going to be immediately first boot, right? I don't think that. Whereas I've had some that I've thought about. Being the first
Red seems like he has like an on switch, like he has a personality, showmanship to him. That's why he's good with TikTok. I think in his interview, again, it's something that I caught with his interviews that we talked about on the cast reaction. But like he very much is like, yeah, Big Brother, it's about that, expect the unexpected, which is very much like, I know what my role is here, and it's to give you your line in a way that makes sense, right? And he's also a salesman. So I just don't know how well that will translate, especially if he finds it difficult to like relate to other people with like their interests because he is coming from a very different background. So I think that I think he might have some trouble, especially if he's not a big enough fan of the show to really have like be able to bridge that knowledge gap.
Yeah, that is interesting about Red. Like, if he is like doing like a character, if Red is a performance and that's not who he actually is. And again, we've seen like 3 minutes of video. So, you know, and his TikToks. So we don't really know. But I know from Survivor, and Rupert is somebody who definitely like is giving some Red vibes that you remember Rudy used to tell me, you know, Rupert, that guy's an actor, you know, like he would like be doing nothing. And then the camera people would come and really be like, I need to build this shelter today. Like he would put on the whole persona. And with the live feeds, like, I think that's nearly impossible to do for 100 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what he's actually like.
I think, you know, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Jasmine as well. Like she sort of had like that bit of on and off switch thing where she knew what the diary room wanted. I just feel like if you're splitting your time like that between like what you think production wants you to do and what you actually want to do, I just think that that's just not, that's too debilitating. You're going to burn out. And I mean, one thing about TikTok and influencers and Instagram models is like all you need to do is turn your camera on and give what you believe is giving you the numbers, right? There is no real interaction between you and your fans. There's no real feedback. It's just, is this going viral or is there not? So, and I feel like
you've seen these NPCs on TikTok? They're interacting 24/7 on the camera without stopping them on.
I mean, but that's not the interaction that I'm talking about. Like, so I do wonder, like, I do think that he probably can be personable. I do think that he definitely is not just what we see on TikTok and what obviously we're going to see in the DR all season long. So I know that there's definitely depth there. I kind of echo what you said earlier, Pooya. I don't think that he really high. Clearly is a character cast. and I think that that's going to be a detriment for him. And so, yeah, I'm kind of worried.
All right. Well, red goes to the audience of Rob Has a Podcast. And that will conclude our draft here tonight. Let's take a look at what everybody walks away with here tonight. Okay. Here are our final teams. We have Aman, who ends up with Jared, Luke, and Reilly. Pooya has Jag, Hisam, and Blue. Rob has Corey, Kirsten, and Felicia. Taran has Matt, Mecole, and Miranda. Bowie.
Yeah.
Or Bowie Jane.
Yes. And then Melissa has America, Cameron, and Izzy. Great job. And America. Sorry, that audience, you get red. All right. Hopefully you won't get red to filth with your draft, audience. Hope you didn't blow it. All right. Hope we didn't blow it either. One other piece of exciting news that dropped today was that for the very first time that the live feeds are going to be on Pluto TV, I believe, 24 hours a day. A whole new audience, Taran, potentially checking out the live feed updates this season.
Potentially, yeah. It's free. Free ad-supported live feeds on Pluto TV. I think you'd probably just need to sign up for a Pluto TV account. They are still available on Paramount Plus as well, ad-free, if you subscribe to Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pluto TV also owned by Paramount, so they're kind of pulling it over there.
Yeah. So Pluto TV, I think, is a great way to access the feeds if you don't have Paramount Plus. Just, that comes with the caveat that they will just like every 8 minutes cut to, 4 or 5 minutes of commercials. So it's a great way to have the feeds on in the background, but you're probably going to want, if you really do care about what's happening on the feeds, then you're probably going to want to check out the actual feeds on Paramount. Okay. All right. So, of course, you could check out the update, even if you don't watch the feeds with Taran, every morning. Starting on Thursday will be our first live feed update, 11 a.m. Eastern. So be on the lookout for that. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, we will be live after the episode with a recap of the live move-in, which is going to be a 90-minute premiere. So we will be back with podcast coverage on Wednesday night at 9:45 p.m. Eastern time. I also think this is not only the longest season of a Big Brother, but this is going to be the most patron content that we have ever attempted to do here for a Big Brother season coming up. That there are going to be many bonus shows per week, exclusive shows that are going to be in our patron feed. The Slop, we'll have the Q&A with Taran. We're going to be trying out some new stuff of hanging out and bantering while checking out some feeds and much more, plus interviews with the alumni, where we will have extended conversations for our patrons and early access to live events. You never know if there could be something in the works for Big Brother this season. That's at robhasawebsite.com/patron. Anything else you want to add from the panel tonight?
No, I just feel like it's been such a long break, especially with BB Can 11, being what it was. I just feel like it's, I feel refreshed and rejuvenated and ready to go. So
I'm so excited for feeds. Thank God they're back. I'm very excited for this season. I just feel ready to go and excited to watch.
That's the thing. BB Can 11 gave us no feeds. The season got pushed, like Helen, for about a month or so extra. So this has been arguably the longest offseason we've had without feeds, because the last time we would have had proper feeds was last September. So a whole year has gone by. I feel like that's got everyone ready. I feel like the energy this year is a little bit different, a lot more excitement. And now there's many different ways to watch the show. If you're trying to get the feeds, you got the Pluto TV, you've got feeds there. There's Twitter. It's trying to rebrand itself. We won't let that happen. Then Threads is trying to come in and do it. So it's going to be a busy summer/fall, folks. And I think we're all going to have a good time together. So I'm very excited. I'm very pumped. Start tomorrow night with the feeds too.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I also predict tomorrow night, it's going to be a 90-minute premiere as opposed to the 2-hour premieres that we've gotten for the last few seasons, which has been a lot of like standing around and watching people roll a ball live on TV and do very long, boring competitions over and over and over again. So hopefully that's going to be a little streamlined in the Wednesday night premiere, but we will see. All right, Aman, what's coming up for you?
I will be attending Oz's premiere party tomorrow night in NYC. I will be doing the takeover for RHAP's Instagram, so make sure that you are following us at RHAPgrams. So I'm going to be on the red carpet, getting a chance to interview a bunch of people, a bunch of folks from BB25. Taylor will be there. So I'm really, really excited. It's going to be a good time. So make sure that you check that out, baby.
Okay. If you can't be there, Aman will bring you in to see everything that's going on the red carpet at Oz's premiere party for BB25. Okay. I think that's going to kick off, around 7 tomorrow?
Yes.
All right. 7 Eastern on the RHAP Instagram, RHAPgrams. Pooya, what's coming up for you?
Well, with Big Brother, not a lot else will be in my plans. However, I do have obligations out here. I will be talking more 90 Day Fiance. I just recorded with Jason Reed.
Not 100 Day Fiance.
No, even they were like, that 100, that's too much. Let's make it 90. Additionally, I will be on Twitch at least 2 to 3 times a week. So if you want to find me somewhere else, that's over there, twitch.tv/Pooya. And then Pooyaism on social media if you're trying to see my tweets.
Okay. All right. Great job here tonight, Pooya. Melissa, what's next for you?
Just this. Big Brother, Big Brother, Big Brother. I'm very excited to get started again. And you can find me on all social media. It's Melissa with 3 A's. That's everywhere.
All right. We'll see you back here tomorrow for the premiere. And Taran, what's next for you on your final night of freedom?
Find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong. We'll have a season full of hanging out during the episodes, watching the episodes live, including tomorrow night's premiere. And then also, hanging out, watching some feeds. We'll be live watching the first night of feeds tomorrow night as well. So come and hang out with that. And other than that, check out the updates, the recaps, the stock watch. We've got it all coming to you this season. Should be a good time. I feel grateful that we have what we have. That's where I'm at. That's what Big Brother Canada has done to me. I'm grateful to BB US. So for that, thank you, Big Brother Canada.
Okay. All right. Taran, can't wait to get it started tomorrow night. We'll be back with Chappelle as well for the premiere coming up on Wednesday night. And then, of course, check out everything else we have going on over on RHAP, including our coverage of Claim to Fame. Another fun episode last night as Allie Lasher joined Jenny and I for the breakdown there. And, of course, Taran and I gave you our first impressions of the cast on Monday if you missed that podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.